Okay, my friends, here it is. The video that is going to show you how to use the JADAM protocol in order to prevent plant disease. Now, in this video, we are going to utilize Downey mildew on cucumber plants as the example, but it will work for all sorts of different things. It's a broad spectrum fungicide. It will work for blight on tomatoes. It will work for blight on potatoes. It will work for powdery mildew on squash and collard greens. It will also work for anthracnose and various other diseases on peppers. So it's just an all-around general good preventative that you only want to use when you need to, though. For example, this year is very wet, which figures because I just installed the drip system in the garden this year. So now we're having more rain than I can remember having, but I'm not complaining because everything is growing really well. But the cucumbers have caught downy mildew because it's just raining so much. And so for that reason, I'm going to show you guys how to utilize the JADAM protocol to prevent it. So let's get into it. And then when we come back, I will tell you some very specifics you have to make sure that you pay attention to. Okay, my friends, so you can see here it is raining profusely, and it has been doing this off and on pretty much every day, every couple of days, the whole season. So I'm not complaining about it because everything is growing really well. It's just, you see these cucumbers back here, they just keep getting drenched, and then it's humid, and then it's cloudy, and then they get drenched again, then it's humid, and then it's cloudy. So everything is growing pretty well because of that, but it can breed diseases. So here we're going to venture out into the garden now, and you can see everything is growing pretty well. These onions are actually growing totally insane, but we'll get to that at another video. But as I'm walking, I'm sloshing on this 8 inches of straw that is down underneath us. So we get to these cucumbers here, and I want to show you the new growth on the cucumbers. So the new growth all looks nice. It all looks very healthy and vigorous, and there's no signs of diseases because the first spray mission was about 5 days ago. And so that's how you can tell, is if your new growth is unaffected and looks strong and healthy. That's how you can tell if your spray mission has worked. And so here, when we look at the cucumbers, we can see that. But if I had any of these other plants, these the basil here, if the beans, if they had like a mosaic virus, you see the beans are starting to find the trellis, I would spray them with the same exact solution that I'm going to show you if I noticed any problems. But as I look at them, I notice 0 issues. Here is one of the tomatoes. I see 0 issues. When I look at it, I don't see any issues. And so just the cucumbers. Now, when we look closely to the cucumbers, we can see here these lesions. Now, this is these are several days old because, like I said, the first spray mission was 5 days ago. And so these have become necrotic. They are dead spots. But the way you can identify downy mildew is by these little angular patches. If you look closely at the tissue of the leaf, you can see it has like little compartments. They're not symmetrical. They're like angular, a bunch of different angles. And the downy mildew will infect one particular patch, and it will kind of remain confined to that. So that's how we can tell what it is. And it will kill that cell of the leaf. And so as we look around at the plant, you can see, and remember, this was stopped 5 days ago, basically. And so here is the necrotic dead spots. A lot of people will confuse this for cucumber beetle damage, but this is different than cucumber beetle damage. And there's been 0 cucumber beetle pressure whatsoever here this year. So this is classic downy mildew. And so for this, I'm going to show you what we're going to utilize right here. Okay guys, here I'm going to give you the secret recipe right here. But before I show you the exact recipe, including dilutions, you have to make sure that you've got a good sprayer, all right? So these are the ones from Bootstrap Farmer, and I just found them this year. And after messing around with so many sprayers over the years, I have finally found the ones I'm sticking to. This is like the Cadillac of sprayers. Seriously, look, all these other sprayers that I have, even this was real expensive, broke, junk. This other one, junk. You know, all these other ones, just junk. Apparently it's super hard and difficult to make a high quality sprayer, I guess, until I found this one from Poland. So there's links in the description if you guys want to buy one. I do get a small kickback, yes, just saying. But the reason you want a good one is because you want it to spray as fine as possible. You want like a mist, like a fog. You don't want it to be like a water hose or a squirt gun, you know, real big droplets. You want it to do what this thing does, as you'll see in a moment, and just create a really fine mist. That's the best for the application. So here's the ingredients that we are going to use. We're going to use first the JADAM sulfur. Now, the sulfur is a broad spectrum fungicide, and it works by inhibiting the metabolism of the fungal spores. It also disrupts the cell membrane around the fungal spores, and so it allows for intracellular fluids to leak, essentially killing the fungal spores. So this has been used for a long time, sulfur has, and in the JADAM system it's in a liquid form, so very easy to apply. Now we're going to use the JADAM sulfur. We're also going to use the JADAM wetting agent. Now the wetting agent is going to help to break the surface tension of the water, basically, and make it so that the sulfur spreads out across the entire plant. The wetting agent also has the ability to penetrate and disrupt the sort of sticky membranes, the sticky biofilm from the fungal spores, and so it helps the whole thing to be more effective. And the wetting agent in itself can be a good mild insecticide, but combined with the sulfur, this is good for most plant issues. So here's the ratio that we're going to do. We're going to do per 1 gallon of water, okay, 1 teaspoon of the JADAM sulfur and 2 teaspoons of the JADAM wetting agent. And so if you get this quasar pump like I have, because you don't need a lot, we're not doing the whole garden, we're just doing the cucumbers, only what's affected. And so this is 2 liters, and so we're going to do half of a teaspoon of the JADAM sulfur and 1 teaspoon of the JADAM wetting agent. And then we are going to apply it as you see here. Okay, first thing we want to do, actually, whether this is cucumbers or tomatoes or whatever it is, we want to prune them. So we're going to disinfect our pruning shears, and then we're going to see this stuff that is sprawling out along the ground. This, if we just left this, this would become a huge tangled up mess here in just another couple weeks with low airflow and high humidity. So we're going to go right below the first set of fruits, and we're going to cut those off, and that is going to redirect the energy of the plant back upwards where it can get nice and dried out. Now, just to make sure that we're encouraging each plant to go upwards, we're going to take a select couple of the vines, and we're going to encourage them to go upwards. We just loosely wind this stuff around it. You see, it's not real tight. We just loosely put it there for about 1 day until these tendrils are going to find this metal, and then it's going to climb itself up vertical. So then we're going to take our Polish-made Bootstrap Farmer spray, and we are going to spray the entire plant. Now, we want to make sure that it is a nice, fine mist. This is what I have found over the years is the most effective. If we can get this fine mist, it seems to really penetrate the leaf surfaces better than huge droplets that just run off. So we want to spray the tops, we want to spray the bottoms, and this stuff is proven to not harm the pollinators. Of course, we're not going to spray directly on to the bees, but they've all been scared off by our presence. And so we are going to coat the entire plant. This is the only way it's going to work, guys. You want to make sure if it's tomatoes, if it's peppers, whatever it is, you got to coat the entire plant. And you got to do it when there's no direct sunlight. Trust me on that one. So this is really going to help your situation big time. Okay, so listen, it is of utmost importance that you only spray this stuff when there is no chance of direct sunlight. If it's a deeply overcast day, like today, and you know it's going to be overcast, or if it's preferably in the evening, that is the best time to spray it, when there's no chance of direct sun, because it will fry the leaves. If you put it and then the sun comes out, you will get a bunch of white sunburn marks all over the plants, and nobody wants that. So again, guys, we're not spraying the whole garden with this. We're only spraying susceptible plants. Once we just start to see the first signs and symptoms of the fungal issue, then we're going to apply this until it's no longer an issue. But we don't just proactively spray the entire garden, because you want to let the plant's immune system strengthen up. You know, you don't want to have to spray this stuff all over just because. So I like to use it only selectively. So that's why we just sprayed the cucumbers. We're not spraying anything else for now, because everything is so incredibly healthy otherwise. All right, so if you want to get that pump sprayer, there's a link in the description. Also, if you shop on Amazon, do it through the Viking storefront. The link in the description. Anything you purchase during that browsing window session, we will get the credit for, whether it's in the storefront or not. So that's an easy way to help out the channel. We will see you guys every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern time for the live Q&A right here. And if you would like to learn how to make the JADAM wetting agent or the JADAM sulfur, I will direct you to these videos here.